Hey everybody, how are ya? So we're at Monday, July 9th, and very interesting day, I must say. Um, anyway, so numerology wise, if you do 7 plus 9, 16, 1 plus 6 is 7. We're in 2018, that equals 11. 7-11 is very significant to Christ. Anyways, I wanted to address something that came to my attention actually yesterday. Someone had left me a comment about a certain circumstance, and it prompted me to have to remove one of my videos. But I didn't remove it because of fear. It was really mostly about understanding the reality that we're in and the game that is going on around us. Now, we're not a part of this war that's going on between two sides. We're just an audience. It's like if you're watching a musical and let's say either you know the story or you don't. You still go watch. You sit down at your auditorium. You watch start to finish. You probably know the songs. Maybe you don't know the songs. You're learning the characters. And let's just say that you decide that you want to stand up and walk on the stage. Well, guess what? You stop the whole play and you interrupt everybody's flow. And because that timeline of that reality was interrupted, you essentially get kicked out. And so just keep in mind, that's how this game works. If you know that there's a danger zone and you know that danger's possible, the moment you step on that territory, you put yourself in danger, then basically you alter your timeline. And you also attach yourself to the timeline of what you had just crossed over onto. So keep in mind that is, and this isn't like all out of my head, I'm not making it up. I truly meditate and channel these messages, and there's a council, entity if you call it. So as long as you make sure that you are respecting the rules, respecting the territory, there's no harm that could come amongst you. And if you call on the full armor of God, full armor of protection, you're okay. Many people don't know how to call on the full armor. You just say it and it happens. And you watch it unfold, or you call on the blood of Christ. If you know that that is the way that majority of the people call on, the protection, then trust it. It works. So someone expressed concern that, hey Aaron, expressing concern over someone should not put me in the form of threat. And keep in mind, I actually know both sides very well of this game. I don't participate in their shenanigans, but I understand and know that they play a role with balance. Everyone plays a role of balance, and it's a balancing act. Darkness needs light as much as light needs dark. And the moment that one converts to the other, it throws off the timeline. It throws off. It's like everything has such a, like when you're cooking, there's certain measurements that have to go in each drop, every spoon or every cup. So understand that there are ingredients to this game, if you may, or this simulation. And let's say darkness knows where they're at and they want out too. It isn't like we're trapped here because of one entity. Like, we were all put here. And regardless of what side you're on and what you play, the role is to kick the exit door and get out. So if there's anyone who needs to trust another side to get out, fill in the blank. So both sides need each other. That's just how it goes. But if you step on territory of speeding up the process, then basically what I'm understanding about the rules of reality is your timeline is usually cut short, or your timeline applies, or you basically attach yourself to something else that has nothing to do with you. Therefore, you have to go through that whole karmic cycle, that whole timeline, and it plays its own way out, that whole story. So that's why I be mindful, like the things that I share and address on YouTube stay according to what my life experience is, my life journey, and how it applies to balance, and how do I play a role with centering myself. And the powers that be and all the forces that are out there, they're fully aware of my intentions. My intentions are not to expose, because then if I expose something, it attaches me to that reality, and that timeline has to conclude itself. If I am an usher, a beacon, a guide in this whole process of soul evolution, then guess what? I'm no harm to anyone or anything, because that's almost like we have to all evolve. Like everything, it isn't saying the good guys evolve to the 6th and 7th root race. Everything evolves to the next root race. And it's almost like everyone has to do a part, and everyone has to, respect the rules and respect the ones who institute the rules, regardless of what side it is. But that's why Christ was here, and Christ had taught us to love, because love, it's an intangible weapon, and no one can deny, or no one could reject that love and that free openness of act. That's the way that we will our life journey. And for those who choose not to have free will, that's a timeline on their own. They have to abide by those rules, and that's not our job to really blast them and all this stuff. So anyways, I leave you all with that, and thank you so much for following me. Thank you for all your concerns, and I'll have a beautiful message for y'all later today. I had a cool dream, and I'll share that later. But I really wanted to share this message. I recorded this twice yesterday. And yeah, I'm aware that my phone does funny stuff. And that's another thing too, is really quickly, I'm not afraid of what gets exposed of me. It's not like, well, you have to watch what you say because, they might get all your information out. And it's like, well, but that's why there's Facebook and Apple phones, and our information, it's already a done deal. So how could you have inner peace and abide by the rules in the reality that we're at? given the circumstance. And knowing it's okay to know, it's okay to be aware, but it's not your job to expose and blast. And I mean, if those are the grounds that you step on, those rules change. Like your timeline rules change. And you have to understand that. I see a lot of people on certain topics on YouTube, and they're constantly exposing something. And eventually, when they change that frequency, that responsive frequency, then their whole timeline is going to revert to something else. And it's not like saying, oh, it's a threat or some sort. Things change. Maybe you move to another state and then you don't talk about that anymore. But yes, I've seen it all. I've seen my phone do funny stuff. I've seen my internet have pop-up things. I've seen helicopters follow me. I've been through it all. But at the same token, I have to look at two ways. Maybe I shouldn't be driving at 4 o'clock in the morning because I'm bored. So you can't be afraid of self, and you can't be afraid of what self does. You can't be ashamed of what self does. And you have to just allow your understanding of where you are. Something is permitting you to understand where you're at. It's kind of like when you move to a new environment. Anytime you move to a new environment, you're learning the neighborhood. You are building a sanctuary within your own, but then at the same time, you don't open your doors and windows to everyone out there. And you know what I mean? So have a wonderful day. Talk to you later. Peace out.